Namaskar, good evening. Let me begin by extending a very warm welcome to all the participants at the ASEAN India Youth Dialogue. I had the pleasure of addressing the second edition of this dialogue in Guwahati in 2019, and I'm delighted to be with all of you today evening. Technology is a great enabler when the world is experiencing travel restrictions and there are social distancing norms in place. Technology has provided us the means to exchange views and hold discussions. The current India ASEAN Youth Dialogue builds upon the successes of the two previous editions of this dialogue, which were held in August 2017 and February 2019. These youth summits provide a platform to our young people from ASEAN countries and India to come together and take ownership of the India-ASEAN partnership. Through this dialogue, we hope that the youth across the region can connect, network, and understand each other. Today, the world is reeling under the COVID-19 pandemic. The disease has been relentless in taking a toll. More than 6.5 million people have been infected by it, and more than 400,000 people have succumbed to the virus so far. In India, though the numbers are around 250,000, yet the recovery rate is around 50% and the mortality is less than 3%. The virus, however, does not respect national boundaries, and hence no country can singularly tackle this pandemic. The health crisis that we have requires close cooperation among all countries, and I'm glad that India and ASEAN have been cooperating in many ways, whether it is through supply of medicines, through the evacuation of nationals that have been stranded in each other countries, through the supply of some essential medicals and equipment. So we have been working together, and the dialogues have been taking place between our leaders and amongst ourselves. It is because the pandemic has shown that we are today facing a situation where there are limitations both domestically and internationally. It is forcing us to re-examine our healthcare infrastructure, the availability and affordability of medicines, the development of reliable supply chains for critical healthcare products, the need for strong collaboration in medical research, and so on. Technology has been harnessed for tracing, monitoring, and containing the pandemic. Digital mobile apps like Arogya Setu in India and Trace Together in Singapore have been playing a critical role in contact tracing. New advances in biotechnology have enabled us to map the genome of the novel coronavirus within a month, which took almost a year in the case of previous SARS epidemic. Apart from the public health challenges, this pandemic has thrown up severe socio-economic repercussions. The lockdowns, closures, social distancing, and travel restrictions have disrupted economic activity. There have been losses of livelihood. Even as countries are gradually restarting activities, whether economic or educational, there are decisions to be made regarding the pace of reopening, because you have to keep in mind the possibility of the second wave of the pandemic. You as youth would be deeply aware of the limitations posed by the pandemic to the previous ways of living and working. No longer can we go out freely, no longer can we meet our friends over a cup of coffee, so it has changed the way we are living and working. According to the UN report on protecting and mobilizing youth in COVID-19 responses, it noted that the youth are among the most affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, and many young people are at the risk of being left behind in education, economic opportunities, and health and well-being during one of the most critical phases of their lives. Nevertheless, it is the youth also who have been among the most active in global responses. Not only are they at the forefront as health workers, but they are also advancing health and safety in their roles as researchers, activists, innovators, entrepreneurs, communicators. Youth are at the forefront of the generation of new technologies, their marketing, and their consumption. The digital revolution is, in fact, primarily driven by youth. The increased adoption of digital technologies can improve our resilience against the human and socio-economic impacts of the pandemic. Use of artificial intelligence, big data, blockchains, etc., have the capacity to secure our regional supply chains and to make them more resilient for future shocks. Young entrepreneurs are not only playing a key role in coming up with innovative solutions, but are also providing many employment opportunities. The youth of technology has put the young people at the forefront of the fight against COVID pandemic. With 2 billion people amongst them, India and ASEAN together constitute about 25% of the total global population. With predominantly large combined youth population in the age group of 15 to 35, India and ASEAN have a huge demographic dividend. But that also means huge responsibilities for shaping the future. Hence, it is important to ensure healthy engagement of our youth through constructive programs and activities. Fortunately, India and ASEAN cooperation has youth as a key component. India regularly takes many youth-centric programs and activities. Besides the India-ASEAN Youth Summit, we have several other activities such as the ASEAN-India Student Exchange Programs. There are the training courses for young ASEAN diplomats in the Foreign Service Institute of India. The India-ASEAN Hackathon and the Startup also take place. Last year, we launched the 1,000 integrated PhD scholarships for ASEAN students in our leading institutions, the Indian Institute of Technology. And we do hope that you will avail of this and come to India for your PhD studies. These activities that we are undertaking serve the purpose of fostering a stronger sense of ASEAN-India community in our youth, and they provide a rich experience and the necessary skill sets to become responsible stakeholders in the national, regional, and global growth. India and ASEAN have a shared future. We have land and maritime boundaries which we share. We are located in the India-ASEAN region.